Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Earthling Entertainment with Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hey, I'm your host who saw Bigfoot once. It just happened to be a monster truck, Joe Wakefield.
The Bigfoot episode is here, and you better watch out. I'm Ryan Lang.
You got a Sasquatch out.
Better watch out.
I don't know if that works, but I'm going to let it slide.
That's
all right.
right. It
So,
works.
for all of you guys, returning listeners, please remember to download the episode. Downloading the episode is the best way to support the show. And we are now on iHeartRadio, so that's nice.
Woo!
And for those of you joining us for the first time, you might be asking, what is this show? What do you guys do?
I know I am.
What are you all about? And we want to unlock the mysteries of this show. We want to find a little box that's in the brain of our two co-hosts, Joe and Ryan. And we want to just crack it open. And like Pandora's box, everything strange and weird and unusual will come out. And at the bottom, there'll be one thing left. But instead of hope, it'll be entertainment.
Like the Ark of the Covenant.
Earthling Entertainment.
That's right.
So what we do here, guys, is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy. Sometimes it's cryptozoology. Other times it's a haunting or a myth or a legend, but it's always spooky. So it is in our first section we lovingly call spooky stuff.
Huh.
That is followed up by something that we call disclosure discussion. That one's all about aliens.
I'm just asking questions. UFO videos, UFO photos, aliens, extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, time travelers. That's what we like to talk about.
That's right. And then the second half of the show, the latter half, if you will, is all dedicated to pop culture and entertainment.
Yeah.
That's right. Sometimes we have celebrity guests. Other times we do trivia games, or we have news, or we have, I don't know, celebrity deaths. We've had audio dramas. It's a whole mess of entertainment. But the one tying in factor to it all is pop culture and genre goodness. And then those two things. The beginning, which is the supernatural, spooky, and paranormal. And then the second half, which is the pop culture and entertainment, come together to form a delicious pop pie known as Earthling Entertainment. Welcome.
Welcome indeed. Welcome back to old listeners and welcome new listeners. Thanks for tuning in. Like Joe said, downloading is the best way to support us. And if you ever have anything you want us to talk about, please email us at earthlingentertainmentpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on our Facebook.
That's right. So you guys may have noticed that this is another one of what we're calling bottle episodes.
Yeah.
So to be clear, in a sitcom, when there's like a normal story or episode, if there's a situation where they're trapped in an elevator or like they can't leave, there's a quarantine, something like that. That is usually what's referred to as a bottle episode. So I've been calling these bottle episodes because the difference between what we're doing today and what we normally do is this one is centered around one main topic.
For the whole show.
For the whole show. And anytime you see Earthlings something, like we had Earthlings Go West, we had, what was it?
Earthlings Go to Mars.
Earthlings on Mars.
Yeah.
Anytime you have Earthlings something, it's going to be one of these bottle episodes. Today, we're covering Bigfoot.
That's right.
It just blew our mind because we haven't covered Bigfoot yet. And originally it was because as we were doing cryptids, we didn't want to do the classic ones too early because we wanted to make sure we were seasoned. You know, we didn't want to have episode 2 be Bigfoot being so amateurish at what we did at the time.
Well, yeah. And I mean, we kind of we're trying, I guess, to be a little hipster with the cryptids. We wanted to really deep dive, find some cryptids that we had never heard of before, and that was a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. And then ultimately we were going to have all the classics, and we're finally doing Bigfoot. A whole episode dedicated to Bigfoot.
It was intimidating to do. Not going to lie. I didn't, you have to do respect for the Bigfoot, man. It's the North American, iconic cryptid. Right?
It's true. And there's so much about Bigfoot. And so we decided that we would stick with Sasquatch and Bigfoot. So even though there's other versions, there's the Yowie in, I believe it's the Yowie in Australia.
Mhm.
There's the Yeti in the what is it?
That's like in
Excuse
like the mountains.
I know.
of Asia.
It's in
I
Nepal,
forget-
but
yeah.
for some reason my brain just.
And there's
whoop,
the skunk ape.
and that's in the
That's in
swamps.
Florida, I believe. Was
I think their skunk ape was also in Vietnam. They talked about them and
yeah. So
Yeah.
though, so yeah,
But we're not doing any of that. We're just doing the classic Bigfoot.
the Sasquatch.
The
Right.
Sasquatch.
Which is it was interesting when I was reading up, as they were like, Sasquatch is like a type of Bigfoot. So literally, as I was looking through different forums about them, is like, it's so funny. Like, yeah, there are so many that now they're like saying that. So the Sasquatch is the North American one. Like, that's ours.
Yeah.
That is our word.
Well, it makes sense because I don't want to compare them to dogs in a negative sense. I'm just saying
Yeah.
there's many different species of dog. You get a German Shepherd next to a Pomeranian, and you're like, that's the same species? So it's kind of the
Right.
same thing with Bigfoot.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And but no, Bigfoot's been a big part of our lives, I feel like.
For how long, right? Since
Forever.
we were a kid. One of the first things was a Goofy movie.
That's right. And,
when we were, what was that, 95? So I don't know how old you were. I was like 9.
Who could forget that? He's got like the underwear on his head. Who dare? Like opens up like the little pocket for
his eyeball.
for his eyeball. And he's just like, is he gone yet? Staying alive. He's in the background doing the disco dance. And then he's like, nope, still here.
Classic. And so that was when we were kids.
Yeah, dude. And of course, yeah, there's another movie I don't want to mention because we're going to cover it later. And that one, I honestly don't think so I might as well just say Harry and the Hendersons, we're going to cover it later.
Yeah, we're going to have a whole big deep dive in Harry and the Hendersons in the second part of the show.
I don't think I ever saw it, but I remember the trailer. I saw the trailer.
How do you drop a bomb that you've never seen this movie?
I was waiting for this moment.
No, you need to wait until we're talking about that damn movie. That's later.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I just wanted to blow your mind a little bit, Joe.
Well, you did, sir.
But
You
no,
did.
I have the trailer like in the back of my mind. So like it must have been the opening for a VHS for some movie that I had watched a lot when
Frequently,
I was
yeah,
younger.
because when you watched old VHSs, most people weren't fast forwarding through the commercials. You just let it play.
Yeah.
It was your time to prep.
I kind of missed that.
You get
Like,
some popcorn, things. Well, you could just. No one likes trailers. I do. This is why I don't care about paying for the no ads on streaming sites. I'll just keep the ads. It's fine. The only time it's a problem is when they get too repetitive and you have like 14 Glade commercials that are all the same
Well,
one.
and that's the thing. When you bought a VHS before and you're watching your movie, it would play trailers of other movies. It wouldn't be commercials.
Yeah, trailers are a lot of fun. If I could set
Yeah.
up any kind of ad-based situation where you could pick the kind of commercials you want to receive, they're like, look, we know you're going to advertise to us. At least let us customize it a little bit. The idea of picking like movie trailers instead of product commercials, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I assume the people in charge wouldn't care as long as they were still getting paid by advertisers, right?
Right. I mean, and I wouldn't mind advertising if they did it clever, like Cerveza Cristal. I don't know if you ever heard about this. Cerveza Cristal figured out a way that in the middle of a movie, they would actually film, like, so it was seamless, and it looked like it was in the film, and they would just pull out, like, a Cerveza Cristal. It was amazing.
Yeah,
And
they cut commercials into actual movies.
into the movies, and it was even in Star Wars, and it was brilliant. He was like, oh, I've been meaning your father wanted you to have this. When he reached in to grab fucking the lightsaber, he pulled out Cerveza Cristal.
What do you know what you're talking about beyond like seeing the video online? Like was it released? Did they cut them into like commercials at video stores? What was the story here?
It
Ryan?
was made for TV, like it was being played on TV.
And that's how they
and
cut
that-
commercials into it.
That was how they handled it, is they literally just filmed it. So they would have you would just see his hand and it looked like it was Obi-Wan. And it was, like I said, it was seamless and it was brilliant. So if they do that, I'm fine with that. As long as I have a nice little jingle to go with it too.
Well, anyways, so besides the fact that you have not actually seen Harry and the Hendersons, do you remember what VHS tape that was that you had watched so frequently?
This is my guess. It's either Ninja Turtles,
That makes sense, but I saw that a lot, and I don't know if I remember a preview for that.
then it must be
Because we had the Pizza Hut commercial. Do you remember where it was the baseball team? And the whole time it was like, look up above and a baseball falls into my glove. And then it's this whole big thing. And then they're like, Pizza Hut. You're like, what the
Pizza
fuck?
Hut.
You're like, that was the commercial on the Ninja Turtle tape. By the way, this is the Bigfoot episode, Ryan.
That's right. This is a great Bigfoot episode so far, but I think it was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I think it might have been
Could have
that.
been Honey, I Shrunk the
I think it
Kids.
was. I think it was. So that's so funny. But yes, I remember seeing that commercial so many, the trailer for that so many times. So it's interesting. We're going to talk about that today because that's like burned in my brain, and I haven't even seen the whole movie.
Well,
Like it's just Bigfoot, like we were saying, is just
Bigfoot
a big part of
stands out.
it. Does, and he's made a huge resurgence. You see Bigfoot stickers everywhere now. It's crazy. Like everybody's doing it. I don't know what's going on. I missed out on like there's the new Bigfoot comeback.
Have you ever thought about hunting for Bigfoot? Like personally?
Yes, when I was younger and I was in scouts.
Well, yeah, because that would make sense, right? I mean, I obviously wouldn't be prepared to just go out in the woods. I would die from exposure in like 2 days. But if I had a guide or something, I might go looking for Bigfoot. It's tough because so many people do it. It kind of feels like, all right, Bigfoot, like, I don't think I'm going to be the guy who stumbles across Bigfoot. But what if, right? Like there's all these people at the show. They're like, In Search of Bigfoot, season 34. And then they never find Bigfoot. But you go out there, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You come across him, you're just like, oh, you're like, oh shit.
Well,
Pull out your phone.
I'll say this. We all talked like a big game until it was nighttime and you're in your tent in the middle of the night. And it's just like, and we used to prank each other. You know, we'd walk by
And
like
Boy Scouts?
Oh yeah. Just walk by, like shuffle by the tents in the middle of the night, like, like just like doing shit like that. Oh yeah. We'd, clack some logs together.
Well, it'd be better if you had just like an abnormally large kid that just like had the growth spurt that was way different than the rest of you. So even though he wasn't a giant, to you guys who are like, very small, he was, get that kid to just mess with everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the creepy one.
Oh, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I mean,
Bigfoot.
I would go out in the woods and I would go searching for Bigfoot because to me, it seems like it would be kind of like looking for a gorilla in a sense that I don't think Bigfoot is inherently violent. I think if you're in his territory, he's probably going to attack, right? Like, I don't think they're just running around trying to be dangerous. So as long as you're not an asshole, he won't kill you. I don't know.
And we
There's
don't even
different
know.
takes on Bigfoot. We got the gentle giant Bigfoot and we got like the killer Bigfoot. Did you know there was Bigfoot erotica?
I believe it.
No, absolutely. If just Google romance novels of Bigfoot and they're just like ultra detailed, like his 7 foot tall hairy chest
Oh my
approaching.
God.
Yeah, like really like woo, some sweaty stuff there, bud.
All right. Well, no.
I want to talk to the guy who writes that or the girl who writes that. Like what inspired this? Like I am the best in a very niche genre.
Well, and for all we know, Bigfoot are hyper intelligent. They just don't want to mess with any of us.
Yeah, because we're writing books about now.
Yeah, like because that's arguably off-putting. So like,
Arguably.
I mean, I could just think of like so many examples of just Bigfoot things in our pop culture. Like, do you remember the movie Strange Wilderness? You kind of reminded me of it earlier.
All right, I do remember the movie Strange Wilderness, and I want to talk about Strange Wilderness, but I want to tell you that right here we have, by Bill Nichols, we have Satisfying Sasquatch,
Oh
Bigfoot Erotica Part 1, and you can get this on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited for free.
Wow.
And it looks like you could also get it on Audible.
Nice.
Someone did a recording of this.
Well, I'm so glad they did.
And this is just, I want to tell you guys, one of many awesome adventures if you're looking for Bigfoot stuff.
I guess, there's something for everybody.
Like Strange Wilderness, which was a Happy Madison production, which, if you don't know, is the guy Adam Sandler who owns that one.
That's right. Mr. Adam Sandler himself. And this movie had so many just hilarious scenes throughout. Even a lot of them have made a resurgence in memes recently, like the guy who tattooed eyes on his eyelid.
Yeah, Justin Long
played
that character, and he was a stoner character. And to hide the fact that he was sleeping during a meeting, he tattooed eyes that are open on his eyelids.
And they looked really, it was actually pretty freaky.
And you said it was like a TikTok meme now.
Yeah, now I've just seen it as a meme now, being shared around. So that's made a resurgence. And of course, who could forget the shark if you don't know what I'm referring to, please go watch Strange Wilderness. So, but yeah, the whole thing was leading up to them trying to find Bigfoot, and they do. And I don't know, should we spoil it?
Yeah, okay, so if you guys don't want Strange Wilderness spoiled, hit that like jump 15 or 30 seconds thing. So the entire film, they're looking for Bigfoot, and when Bigfoot finally shows up, they seem very surprised, and he goes, "Huh?" And then out of nowhere, like a cartoon, suddenly they all have
Yes.
a variety of assault weapons that they just pull out of nowhere and just gun down,
just riddle
Bigfoot.
him with bullets, like the scene from RoboCop.
It is intense. You'd be surprised how many pop culture quotes come from that movie that you
Yeah.
may never realize. And the movie, of course, flopped because all of these ridiculous comedies usually don't do that well. I mean, that's why they don't make so many of them.
They literally even ended the movie with an outtake. They ended it with an outtake between them and the guy who was like their producer
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
Jeff Garlin played a character who was like Ryan was saying, the producer of the show. And at the very end, the whole point of this is Steve Zahn's character is trying to get his show renewed because it's about to be canceled. And when they have the footage of Sasquatch, Jeff Garland's character is just like, "Hey, your competition is dead, so you guys are renewed." And that obviously wasn't the right line because everyone busts out laughing. And
Yep.
suddenly you see the crew. And Ryan's right. That's how they end the movie. Suddenly the movie's over.
Yeah, they just ended it on an outtake because, yeah, they riddled Bigfoot with bullets, realized they screwed up, had a hilarious scene around the campfire as they're all trying to justify why they just murdered Bigfoot. And then they and then they set up as like Bigfoot committed suicide. He's just covered in bullet holes. And they're just like, "Oh no, Bigfoot killed himself. How horrible."
Another classic film, Ryan, I don't know if you know about, is the 2011 film. It's about an hour and a half. Very good. It is, I quote, the name of the film is Sweet Prudence and the Erotic Adventure of Bigfoot.
Oh no.
So, a lot of choices out there.
There's a lot of
A lot
choices
of
out
choices
there.
out there.
So there's also Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny.
Yeah, which is, as far as I know, nothing to do with a Bigfoot erotica.
Nothing to do. Well, Sasquatch is my daddy, and he's going to protect me.
I did like Tenacious D. They are a very fun joke band. I should say real band who does songs that are humorous. I don't like the
Indeed.
term joke band. But, their HBO series did spawn a movie in the early 2000s called Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. And in that, they also released the album, and they had a Sasquatch song. That's the one Ryan's referring to.
That's
where
right.
Jack Black plays Baby Sass, which
You're my little baby sass.
they have a whole big, wonderful romp together in a strawberry river.
Let's take a dip in the strawberry river.
Exactly. But for those of all that pop culture stuff is just what we know a lot about, so we love riffing on it. But we're gonna jump into our spooky stuff section, which is, of course, not pop culture. It is what the pop culture is based on. It is the real accounts,
The
of
origin
Bigfoot.
story.
So, a lot of you may have heard a bit about Bigfoot, but here's some more knowledge for you guys on this week's spooky stuff.
The Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, is said to inhabit areas of North America. The term Sasquatch was first used in 1920 by British Columbian schoolteacher J.W. Burns. It is an anglicized version of the Haclomelem word for Saquets, which translates to wild man.
Haclomelem? Yeah, it's I assume an Indian tribe name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stories of an ape creature roaming the forests of North America have been around as long as some of the Native American tribes started in certain areas due to finding of cave paintings of Sasquatches. However, the earliest written account was made in 1811 by David Thompson, who was mapping regions of Canada and United States of America at the time.
At first, I thought you said Dave Thomas, and I'm like, the Wendy's guy was fucking busy.
He really was, man. So this is a quote from him. The Spokanes believe in a race of giants which inhabit a certain mountain off to the west of us. That's creepy.
Yeah.
by David Thompson.
It makes sense that if there was a community of Sasquatches that were trying to stay away from humans, that they would be up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So they're hyper intelligent, maybe, who knows? Thompson spoke to the Spokanes.
Can you imagine if we stumbled upon a Sasquatch village and it wasn't at all like primitive? Like they have straight up technology. There was
They're
an
all in
episode.
lab coats.
Yeah, there was an early episode in the of Stargate SG-1. It was
Uh-huh.
the first season, so it was like 1997. But anyways, they come across this race called the Nox, and they look kind of just like a little elvish. And it turns out that they have spaceships and they have a bunch of technology. Same thing. The reveal at the end of the episode is they actually have technology. Don't worry about it. They act this whole ethereal way because they're just above it all. What if Sasquatches are just above it all? They're like humans. Yeah, when they destroy the Earth, we're going down in our underground caves, which are, used to be lava tubes, and we have our own little cities. Maybe Darren Dooku in Turkey was made by Sasquatches. Just saying. Maybe they have underground cities, and they're just going to wait us out. We're going to bomb ourselves or pollute ourselves into death. They pop back out, and then they reign supreme, Ryan.
I mean, it sounds plausible, Joe. Everything you just said.
Every last word of it. So I like how sometimes you just let me go out of the way.
I let you run, man. Let you go, man. That's what I do. If you love them, you let them go. And if it was meant to be, they come back. And he always comes back. Thompson spoke to the Spokanes, a local Native American tribe in Washington state. According to Thompson, the Spokanes told him of a race of hairy giants that lived on one or some of the nearby mountains that would steal salmon and people while they were asleep.
Yoink.
This was also the first time a footprint was mentioned for a Bigfoot. Thompson said that the giants left footprints 1.5 feet long. Bigfoot are said to communicate with strange howls and the smashing of tree limbs together. These sounds have been a consistent report throughout the years of encounters with the creature. In 1957, a man named Albert Ostman reported being stolen in his sleep by a Sasquatch, similar to the stories of giants told by the Spokanes.
Or an alien abduction. He was stolen in his sleep?
Yeah, maybe.
That's worrisome.
Well, you're tying it together a little early now. Well, who knows? We might get to that. He claimed that in 1924, while he was searching for gold, he felt that someone was carrying him while he was sleeping. How
Like
romantic,
a wee baby.
Just how romantic.
I've done that with my kid out of the car.
This the Sasquatch carrying you across the threshold. Ostman said when he woke up, he could see 8-foot-tall Sasquatches with long arms and hairy bodies, except for the padded feet, which lacked hair. Ostman also stated that the Sasquatches appeared to live as a family, like modern apes. The Adirondack Mountains, with their dense forests and rugged terrain, have long been a hotspot of Sasquatch sightings. Locals and visitors alike have been reported encounters with the elusive creature, describing it as a towering figure covered in dark fur with powerful strides and a haunting presence.
Not too.
I knew it.
I'm not gonna do it. It's fine.
Then they say his stride is so powerful that it almost looks like he's like floating. Almost looks like Sasquatch is just like gliding.
He's kind of like moonwalking forward
because he's got like
I'm just imagining this video of like Sasquatch coming out of a bunch of trees into another bunch of trees, but as he crosses screen from right to left, he goes.
Well, yeah. Well, they say it's like near impossible to replicate that walk because they walk with like a bent knee thing, like the way primates do. And it's just like, that's why like all the footage and stuff like that is like, how could someone fake that? It's near impossible. So on a fall day in 1967, Bigfoot enthusiast Roger Patterson and his friend Robert Ginlin set off on horseback to investigate claims of the creature roaming the nearby woods of Orleans, California, where footprints were supposedly found. Not far from Orleans, the two filmed what would become the most iconic footage of Bigfoot ever taken. The Sasquatch in the film has come to be known by many as Patty. The 59
actually, it's funny, as much as I know about the Gimlin tape, I never heard of it referred to as Patty.
No, yeah, that was actually, it was referred to a lot as Patty and a lot that I was reading about it.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. The 59-second clip shows a hairy humanoid figure, noticeably female, walking through the woods of Bluff Creek. Halfway through the clip, the creature gives Patterson a look of disgust, but continues through the forest without halting. Though pursued distantly on horseback, the Sasquatch was lost in the heavy undergrowth. I actually read quite a lot more about this. There was just so much that goes into this story. And yeah, that's what he really said. He was like, it looked at us, and that was
I
the
like,
most
ugh,
it just like a
human.
disgusted look. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And that, I don't know, that's freaky to me. Just the fact that like it would be one, like you just think of it almost as a dumb animal. That represents, like I said, like, an
Intelligence.
emotional intelligence.
Well, it's how I imagine all cats look at Siamese cats. There's like, ew.
I have a feeling that a Siamese cat would really throw, like, that's a cryptid to a normal house cat. That is a cryptid. The duo brought plaster later that day and made casts of the footprints before leaving in hopes of recruiting a search party. The two planned to return to the Bluff Creek to search for the Sasquatch that day, but warnings of a heavy rain and flooding changed their minds.
And all that rain and all that mud, it changed. There's no more prints. There's nothing. There's no trail to find. I mean, I'm not a pathfinder, but I believe rain kind of screws you when it comes to following an animal.
I imagine it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Could this be footage of a real Sasquatch? Many researchers believe so. Analyzing the film, it was figured by some that it could not be a man in a costume. The joints of a man simply could not line up with the creature on film and still move in a similar fashion. If you look closely, you can also see what appears to be muscle movement, and I saw that myself as well. You can see the HD fixed up clip on YouTube, along with a tumor of sorts on the right leg. And you can also see what I noticed from one of the comments. He was like, if you watch when she turns, you can see her, like the hair on the back, like stand up, like in a way like an animal does when they're like freaked out or pissed off. And I looked and I'm like, you can see that. So it's like, how did two cowboys in the middle of this time, like, there's no way it could be faked. There's no way.
Well, I have a little bit of an issue with that because as much as I hear what you're saying, maybe it wasn't like when you say the film was enhanced in HD, who's to say it wasn't also altered? And like, was the information there on the original negative of the film that was that just enhanced, or was it people messed with it? That's all I'm saying.
No, and you're right. No, it's good to ask questions. It's always good to ask questions. You're right.
You're telling me that like a film shot in the 60s, you could zoom in so much and see hair stick up and muscular movement, and that's where I start questioning. I'm like, I don't know. This isn't CSI, right? We can't enhance.
Right. You're right. You're right. And you're right. This was supposedly filmed in 1967.
So I know those were film camera, but what did he think he had? He probably had like an 8mm, like a Super 8 camera, or even a 16mm camera. Either way, when you watch things shot with that, there tends to be a lot of grain, a lot of noise. So when you clean up all that noise, and I mean, I don't know about film preservation and restoration as much as, someone who's in the business of doing that, but is it messed with? Is it changed? Is it CGI altered?
And you're right. You're right. That could be a thing. Patterson stated to his grave that the creature was real, and Gimlin still tells the world that he was never involved in any hoax. And from from my research, he really didn't even start talking until recently. Like, wow. I think he only did like 3 different interviews since then, but he's now going to like Bigfoot conventions, and he's actually talking now, which I think is great.
Well, I mean, if you get older, like, screw it. It's like, well, this apparently is what I'm going to be known for. Embrace it.
Right. Why not?
Sell some t-shirts, make some money, sign a couple photos.
Yeah. Take some selfies.
Yeah.
Based on early sightings of the Sasquatch, the profile of the creature was thought to be more ape-like, with a prominent brow ridge, an undefined nose, and a prognathous face. It wasn't until a sketch by Roger Patterson titled Old Woman was released that the Sasquatch would adopt its flat-faced, almost man-like image observed in most representations of the creature today.
However, his sketch little boy just got him arrested.
The Sasquatch in Patterson's famous clip also possesses such a flat face. Arguably, the best form of evidence we have of the Sasquatch are the tracks that they leave across North America. They are typically 15 to 17 inches long and about 30% wider than typical human footprints.
He's going to be very popular.
That's right. You know what that means? Big socks. The first documented discovery was in the cold winter of 1811 in Alberta, Canada, when David Thompson discovered a large set of footprints in the Rockies impacted deep in the snow. Footprints were discovered almost daily in the logging area of Bluff Creek, California, during the 1950s. It was here that the first Sasquatch footprint was cast and Bigfoot was brought to the media. However, Bluff Creek wasn't the only place these tracks were found. By 1980, there were over 200 reports of footprints from northern California alone.
I have seen some of these castings. I was in Northern California and I walked by. It was, I mean, it was more than just a gas station, but it was a whole touristy thing, right? It was
Right.
a whole Bigfoot, and they had a casting of Bigfoot that apparently the owner of the store had actually, taken himself.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I took a picture next to the giant wooden cutout of Bigfoot. I don't know, because I'm looking at this plaster foot and it's sometimes hard to tell because there are images that have really defined like toes and
Yeah.
heels, where this one looked more or less kind of like a blob where you could kind of faintly make out the foot.
Mhm.
But I guess that should mean it should speak to its authenticity, right? Because this guy's like, no, this is the one I took, and it's not perfect like you bought it from a catalog. Like,
That's what I was about to say. You have to imagine that he found this footprint and it was so, cool to him that he went and plastered it. So to me, that adds credibility. Just like you found this, it looked to him like something that did not look like a human footprint, didn't look like a bear. And he was like, I'll be right back.
I mean, if you're looking for Bigfoot, you just have to have kind of like plaster with you in your backpack.
I was
right?
going to say you
'Cause
just carry it around.
If you're just like walking around the woods, you see a footprint, like, shit, where's the closest Home Depot? Like, what? Does anyone know where Ace Hardware is?
Where's a Hobby Lobby?
Exactly. Or we get some hipster, and what they do is they would pour acrylic in there with variations of little Bigfoot Lego guys to make his little print.
A little bit of glitter.
Yeah. I call this Bigfoot foot deconstructed.
Ooh, deep. So back to Bigfoot. In 1969, a trail of over 1,000 footprints leading through the snow was discovered in Bossburg, Washington. The tracks were 17 inches long and gave researchers the indication that there was a crippling deformity on the right foot. This analysis has given the Bossburg Sasquatch the name Cripplefoot.
The neighbors are not nice.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Luckily, we informed the Bigfoot he's gotten taken care of.
I was
It's
gonna
covered
say-
by his HMO.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just needed a little bit of physical therapy. In,
was a cyst.
in 1982, prints were discovered by the U.S. Forest Service in the state of Washington that appeared to possess dermal ridges and sweat pores. The footprints were found to be similar to those of a primate. After much analysis, many researchers have concluded that these could not have been faked.
Nice.
So it's like either someone's carrying around an ape foot or that was really Bigfoot.
Well done.
Bigfoot is arguably the most well-known cryptid in North America, if not the world.
I'd say the world. Like,
Yeah.
besides the Loch Ness Monster, you think of Bigfoot.
The thought of a giant, hairy man-ape lurking in the woods beside your camp is both exciting and, let's face it, terrifying.
It would be. Do you believe in Bigfoot being actually real?
Yes, I believe
Yes.
that they at least were. I
Oh.
just don't think that they could. Well, I'm throwing myself a little bone here that maybe they could. Maybe they could still do it because they still say there's so much land that we really don't know what's there. It's so vast. There's so much forest. They could hide if they were really smart. If they had a cave system, perhaps. But I lean towards Yes, there definitely were Bigfoot in North America, 1000%, I believe it. But are they still here? Have they gone home? Have they
I don't
disappeared?
know.
Or have they been killed off?
I think Bigfoot has a chance of being real, absolutely, because you are in, like you said, there's so many isolated valleys and mountain ranges, and a creature like that who has basically, grew up, evolved in that area is going to know how to hide, eat, and do the rest of it. And why haven't we come across a Bigfoot skeleton or something? That, who knows? People wonder about things like that. Some people have even thrown like a supernatural thing. I've heard people say that Bigfoot could be an alien or
Yep.
maybe could phase in and out from another dimension.
I believe, didn't all that come from like the Skinwalker Ranch stuff?
A little bit, but you know what? That's what we're going to talk about right now in our next segment.
Disclosure discussion. Ha 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 ha. It's about aliens and stuff.
Bigfoot is an interdimensional shapeshifter from another world, expert claims. This comes to us from MSN.com. A leading ufologist says that Bigfoot is a paranormal, interdimensional creature not of this world. UFO expert Mark Christopher Lee, who has made several documentaries about the existence of alien life, has deduced from his research that the Sasquatch is actually a type of extraterrestrial that can travel through different dimensions.
I mean, that does explain a lot.
Mark doesn't believe that Bigfoot is a type of ape or a missing link to humans. And the reason why no remains are ever found is because the creature can move between the planes of existence.
Yeah. And then we got a big old quote from the guy.
He said, "There's plenty of evidence that people have encountered Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever you want to call them, all around the world. Although the northwest of America seems to be the hotspot." He continues, "They're bipedal, hominid, hairy, and that's without a doubt. There's too much evidence now, and the large footprints, there's something there." He goes on, "They have this ephemeral periods where they're seen and then not seen. They disappear. Where do they live? Why have no bodies ever been found? No bones or anything. No one has found anything. So there is this theory that these are interdimensional, which fits in with the Native American idea that these are paranormal beings that can change shape and form and travel through different dimensions. I think that is plausible." End quote. Mark, whose latest documentary, The King of UFOs, explores the British royal family's interest in aliens and is available to stream on Prime now. He believes that science will eventually prove the existence of multiple dimensions, akin to the multiverses that are seen in comic book movies. The filmmaker says in 50 years' time, what was once science fiction will be science fact. He said, "To get to that belief, it's completely against our current reality where there's 4 dimensions and that's it. Science hasn't got to the level where actually there's more." He goes on, "I think the Hadron Collider will eventually get us there. It will find the evidence that there's actually more. Quantum physics alludes to this already a little bit. I think if you come back to this in 50 years, what we see as paranormal now will be seen as normal. The paranormal will be part of main scientific paradigm. That's what I believe. Our beliefs now will be completely different in 50 to 100 years' time." End quote.
Yeah, and you know what? He's not wrong, because the perfect example of that are the writings of Jules Verne with like From the Earth to the Moon and like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Uh-huh.
It's all just stories about technology that came to existence after it was dreamed up. Although when it comes to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I think it was like the 16 or 1700s, there was a king who had a wooden submarine, and so technically that guy did it first.
Well,
Yeah, they like paddled it underwater.
first.
It worked.
But this is an interesting thing, and it answers that question. Why haven't we found anything? Why haven't we found remains? Why anything like that or any signs? Because they just disappear. They just literally travel to where we can't go, to where we can't see.
Yeah.
And that's extra frightening that Bigfoot could just pop out of nowhere,
Is-
actually.
Just like, what if he screams like a goat? Just pops in, it just disappears. Like, oh my God, that'd be horrifying. Well, they make these weird wails. Have you ever heard like the sound that they think is Sasquatch? It's like bellows. It's like,
Yeah.
like it's horrifying.
It is creepy. And I mean, they have recorded these sounds, which have been compared more closely to primate in North America. These have been recorded. So there's a ton of evidence. There's tons of it.
It'd blow people's mind to accept the fact that, wait, guys, Bigfoot is real. We've discovered Bigfoot. But then if you're trying like, and he jumps between dimensions, it'd be like, that's when someone just flips the board. They're like, nope, done.
Like,
Not gonna buy it.
it's so overt, it's covert. I don't know why, but I'm reminded of the comedian Mitch Hedberg and what he said. He's like, I think the problem is Bigfoot is blurry. It's not the photographer's fault. And that's extra scary to me because there's a blurry, out of focus monster roaming the countryside.
But if he was from a different dimension and he was phasing in and out into our reality, maybe he would be blurry. So
Yeah.
what if when videos or photos are taken, he's just phasing in and out?
I mean,
He's like, sorry,
really, that's actually a great point. Maybe
Right?
that's why when we take the photo or any images, there's something with his flesh that he's able to just, he can phase. So we can't even capture it right. So he's just blurry. That's pretty weird.
That is weird. You know what else is weird, Ryan?
What?
Our next segment.
Real world weird.
Bigfoot spotted in National Weather Service photo after Pennsylvania storm. This comes to us from irishstar.com. The legendary Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, has sparked countless tales and theories. Now, weather experts in Pennsylvania claim to have spotted a figure resembling the mythical creature while surveying storm damage. According to a Fox News report, the enigmatic beast was seen beyond a fallen tree in an area tucked within the hills and higher terrain of the Allegheny Mountains in Fayette County, and that is in Pennsylvania. A photo taken near Messmore Road captured what could be a lurking Bigfoot in the background. While many might scoff at the idea of such a phenomenon existing, there's a well-documented history of sightings spanning over 100 years, this says. Many Native American tribes across North America share tales of a large, hairy beings dwelling in the forests, often viewed as protectors or omens, reports the Mirror US. Historical reports of similar-sized creatures in the region where this recent sighting occurred suggest that the area could be a hotspot for Sasquatch activity.
But honestly, this is a joke. This is a joke. I'm looking at the image.
If
The
this is
image,
it.
the image shows a tree that has fallen over this fence that isn't even damaged. And in the background, this figure, this lurking Sasquatch, is the classic cut out silhouette like lawn ornament that so many people have put into their. If they think this is real, then they're silly.
Yeah, no, this is literally, when I was saying earlier in the beginning of the show, the stickers that I see on everyone's cars, it's literally this pose. So this is hilarious.
This is hilarious. I wanted to keep this as real world weird, Ryan, because what's weird is there are people who, I mean, are they testing to see how dumb people are? I don't get it.
I guess I don't know.
Don't know.
Or are they themselves dumb, or are they just like, oh, we got a story here,
We got a story.
or like, you know,
Well,
like
don't worry, Ryan,
they're just
because
running.
I'm here to rescue your real world weird. I'm here to rescue it.
Good.
All right. You know how earlier I just alluded to having heard of Bigfoot erotica.
You alluded to that, and you told us a couple of great titles.
Well, little did you know, there was more.
Oh boy. Everything you never wanted to know about Bigfoot erotica. Okay. This past weekend, a Democratic candidate for a contested U.S. House seat in Virginia accused her opponent of supporting what? Whoa. Whoa.
Here at Earthling Entertainment, we don't focus on politics or real-world issues. This is an entertainment podcast where we focus on the paranormal and pop culture.
back to the show.
You could have expected to see Bigfoot pornography at the center of the contentious race for a U.S. House of Representatives seat.
To be fair, I saw it coming.
Moan for Bigfoot by Virginia Wade. On a week-long outing in Mount Hood National Forest, what begins as a flirty, fun-filled trip soon turns into a nightmare when an ape-like creature kidnaps a group of young women with the purpose of procreating with them.
Full disclosure, that's not a joke. This is an actual book you can get on Amazon.
I don't know how to cut this up, dog. This is really bad. This is really bad. I can't. Like all I could possibly think is a guy is on trial right now. A political guy is on trial right now, and he is also being accused of being a solicitor of Bigfoot erotica. That's all I can say. I got nothing else. He's not a great person. He's got a list of things that aren't really.
All right, well,
It's not looking good.
Shit.
I can't. You can't say that. You can't. That's generalization.
It's tough because there's so much good stuff here, but it's all surrounded by this. We're not politics.
It's too political.
Yeah,
we
we're
can't
not
do it. Let's just do
politics.
this again.
Oh,
It's all right.
I'm keeping all of this though.
That's fine. That's fine. But dang.
Coming June 7th, 2025, it's the third annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference held at Our House. With guest speakers Ronnie LeBlanc, Expedition Bigfoot, paranormal researcher Lyle Blackburn, ghost hunter Ron Iacovetti, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and from Phantoms and Monsters, Lon Strickler. That's June 7th, 2025, Our House, located at 420 Adelphia Road, Farmingdale, New Jersey. Tickets are $45, available at Eventbrite. We will see you there.
Earthling Entertainment special report.
1. A California legislator has introduced a bill that would make Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, the official cryptid of the state. 2. Bigfoot's daughter has been accused of using a new Instagram filter to make her feet appear smaller. Sasquatch advocate groups are furious, calling it the most egregious form of human washing.
This has been an Earthling Entertainment special report.
The scandal.
Calling all comic fans, it's time to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics, where the freshest new issues, graphic novels, and manga hit the shelves every week. Whether you're looking for the hottest new series or the latest small press sensation, we've got it all. Every genre for every age, Green Brain Comics is your one-stop shop for all things graphic storytelling. Got questions? Our friendly staff knows their stuff. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the world of comics, we've got recommendations that'll keep you coming back for more. And don't forget to check out our special events. Green Brain Comics is not just a store, it's a community. Located in East Downtown Dearborn, we are at Green Brain Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shop online at greenbraincomics.com. And remember to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.
It's true, you made it through to the second half of the show.
Oh, yeah. And so now, since we're finally made it to the pop culture section, we get to do something that I've been excited about ever since I wrote this game. That's right. We're doing another quiz game. Ryan, take it away.
Bigfoot in pop culture quiz game.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's just face it. Bigfoot is a huge part of American pop culture. It seems like this cryptid has permeated every aspect of entertainment. Movies, comic books, video games, action figures, books, evidently porn.
That's true.
None are safe from the mighty footprint of our favorite forest-dwelling neighbor. Problem is, with the cacophony of sightings throughout entertainment, it's almost impossible to keep them all straight. But that's just what we're going to ask me to do today. That's right. Prepare yourself for another trivia game. Can I unlock the secrets of Bigfoot in pop culture? Find out now.
Yes. Ryan, how confident are you?
I'm pretty confident. Feeling good.
Excellent. Well, we got 10 questions. They are a very eclectic amount of questions. Tried to cover every aspect of pop culture I could do. And I'm kind of proud of this one. I think you're going to enjoy it.
All right, I'm taking notes. I'm ready.
All right. Which one of these television shows had an appearance by Bigfoot? Is it A, Charlie's Angels, B, The $6 Million Man, C, The Love Boat, or D, Greatest American Hero?
Love Boat.
Yeah, now it was actually B, The $6 Million Man.
See, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have guessed that one. I don't know why I was like, no, I don't know. I thought Love Boat because they're always going around weird places. I'm like, what if they discover Bigfoot one day?
Yeah, but it takes place on the boat. It's not about them landing at places and everyone getting off the boat. The whole show takes place on the boat, so Bigfoot would have had to go on the boat to have a romantic getaway for that to work right.
My Nick at Night memory is not so good.
That is awesome. I gotta be honest. So the first one is wrong. Ryan got it wrong.
That's fine.
All right. Are you ready for number 2? True or false? In the film Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, is there a foodimal, which is a food animal, called the Sasquatch, which is a humanoid squash that hides in the background and can only be spotted by eagle-eye viewers?
I'm going to say yeah, just because there were so many different creatures in that film. I'm going to have to say true.
That is correct.
Nice.
You're doing well.
That's right.
Honestly, I put that one in there for you because I know your kids love that movie.
I love that movie.
All right, Ryan. So, question number 3 in our pop culture Bigfoot extravaganza. Which of these Adult Swim cartoon shows featured an episode with Bigfoot? Is it A, The Venture Brothers, B, Mr. Pickles, C, Squidbillies, or D, all of the above?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to go... I was going to say C, because I'm almost certain of that, but I'm going to go with D, because they were all kind of... I could see it.
That is correct!
Yes!
Ryan got that one correct. So that is...
2 out of 3.
Question number 4. Which one of these Bigfoot board games is real and actually released by the Milton Bradley Company in 1977?
Whoa.
Is it A, is it Hippie or Sasquatch? B, Finding Bigfoot. C, Bigfoot, the Giant Snow Monster. Or D, Match My Feet.
Match My Feet.
No, it was actually C, Bigfoot and the Giant Snow Monster.
See, I would not have guessed that one.
Well, that was the point of the question. I didn't even think it sounded like... It sounds like a weird B movie. It doesn't actually sound like it would be a board game.
Why wouldn't you call it just Yeti?
Yeah, you picked the trick one. Match My Feet sounded like a game to me. So that's
why I was like, yeah, I fell for it because I was just like, oh, I'll bet you that they used the Bigfoot feet.
But are you ready for question number 5?
Born ready, Joe.
Which of these 1990s arcade game had Bigfoot as an opponent you had to defeat? Is it A, Sunset Riders, B, The Simpsons, C, Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa, or D, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time?
I'm going to have to go with B, Simpsons.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, good job. I didn't think you'd get that one.
I played that game.
I actually assumed that you would have picked Ninja Turtles because I love Ninja Turtles so much, and I thought you'd be like, oh, there's no way he didn't make it Ninja Turtles.
No, I played enough Ninja Turtles that I can't recall them ever fighting Sasquatch.
All right. Well, see, your nerdy video game knowledge has paid off.
Excellent.
But do you think it will pay off for question number 6?
That's right.
It might, because Ryan, this is a music question.
Hmm.
Which band wrote the song Running with Bigfoot? Was it A, The Groovy Ghoulies, B, Misfits, C, The Cramps, or D, Rappy McRapperson?
D, Rappy McRapperson.
No, I'm sorry.
I really thought that you'd do that to me.
That was incorrect.
I happily get that wrong.
The answer is A, The Groovy Ghoulies.
I thought it was gonna be actually the Misfits, and then you said rappy, and I'm like, well, that does sound like a rappy song.
It does sound like a rappy song. All right. Well, what do you know about just small towns in America? You big on that knowledge, man?
We'll see.
Which of these small towns holds an annual festival called the Bigfoot Days? Is it A, Lickskillet, Alabama, B, Reamer, Minnesota, C, Hazardville, Connecticut, or D, Tightwad, Missouri?
Oh my God. I'm going to go with Tightwad, Missouri.
That is incorrect.
I happily get that wrong once again because I had those were great sounding towns, though, by the way.
Well, it turns out it's Reamer, Minnesota. If you go to Reamer,
right.
Minnesota, you can go to the Bigfoot Days Festival.
I would have gotten that wrong, too, because my second guess was going to be one of the other ones as well. So I wouldn't have gotten that one anyway.
Number 8. Which one of these actors recently starred in a Bigfoot art house film called Sasquatch Sunset? Is it A, Timothy Chalamet, B, Jacob Tremblay, C, Randall Park, or D, Jesse Eisenberg?
Oh, it's going to be Eisenberg.
That is correct,
yes,
Ryan.
I remember that. I want to say we covered I think we talked about that movie.
Well, we did talk about that movie. I liked the movie. It was so silly. It was shot like a documentary. It was meant to be like, if Bigfoot were real. You know what? It made me believe, Ryan. It made me believe.
No, I believe it.
All right, number 9. One of the mascots for the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics Games was a friendly Bigfoot character who comes from mysterious forests in Canada. What was his name? Is it A, Quanchi, B, Sassy, C, Harry, or D, Tim?
I love Tim,
Yes.
but I'm going to say it's Sassy.
No,
Dang.
it is actually A, Quanchi.
I didn't think that would be it. I'm like, Joe made that word up. That sounded like a made up Joe word.
I think it's like Sasquatch. Yeah, it's Quatchi.
Like it just reminds like Rick and Morty. Like I'm gonna go squanch.
All right, Ryan. Well, I don't know how well you think you've been doing, but
I've been doing all right. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 right. Doing all right.
All right. Well, here is number 10, the final question of the game. This one might blow your mind. Which science fiction franchise had a tie-in comic that explains the origins of Bigfoot? Is it A, Battlestar Galactica, B, Star Trek, C, Star Wars, or D, Stargate?
I'm gonna go with Star Trek only because they kind of tend to go with like actual like lore of the world sort of continued. So I'm gonna go with Star Trek.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
I had a feeling I was wrong, but I had to go with my gut.
No, Ryan. It turns out it was your very own love, Star Wars.
I didn't want to say Star because you said that it was gonna blow my mind. Actually, it was a now non-canon Star Wars Tales number 19 comic, Into the Great Unknown. Han and Chewbacca are forced into a random hyperspeed jump to flee from a battle. When they emerge, they enter Earth's solar system and soon crash on the habitable planet. Almost immediately after leaving the Millennium Falcon, the two friends are attacked by a nearby tribe of Native American warriors who fired a barrage of arrows at them. Although Chewbacca manages to fend off the attackers, Han is fatally hit. The heroic smuggler dies in the arms of his best friend.
I'm sad.
The story then cuts to many years later and introduces Indiana Jones to the story, who, along with Short Round, is investigating the area over monster sightings. While there, his guide leads him to the Millennium Falcon, where he finds the skeleton of Han Solo. It's then revealed that Chewbacca has survived for centuries after their crash, and his existence has spurred the legend of the American Sasquatch. However, rather than pursue the myth any further, Indiana decides to leave him be and remain part of the great unknown.
So Chewbacca is Sasquatch.
That's Chewbacca. So Chewbacca is Sasquatch.
So Chewbacca.
It did sound Star Trekky,
So-
didn't it?
It didn't though, man. Star Trek is all about like logic and like what actual science. If Bigfoot was ever proven to be real, there would have been an episode of Star Trek where they met him.
I could just see it. I could just see them being like, these creatures, like they are so misunderstood, Captain. Like,
I think new Star Trek would do it. I don't think original Star Trek would do it.
oh, I could see it. I personally could see original cast. You could have made that episode 4. That would have fit right in back then.
All right, so you got 1, 2, 3.
4. So I got the same as last time. I got 4 right. 6 wrong. 40%. You know, what can you do?
I don't know, man. Were you surprised by any of these?
Very. I was very surprised. Definitely. I knew you were going to throw. I didn't know I was going to have a quiz game today, guys. So Joe always likes to kind of throw a few sideballs, a few curveballs at me. That's what I meant. So I think I did decent for the curveballs thrown at me there.
We'll see if you do better next time.
That's right. Because I would like to keep this up. This is fun.
Well, so, maybe it'll be a theme of these, what we call the bottle episodes. Maybe we'll have just a quiz when we're having one of these.
I think that would be a good thing. That'd be a staple, right there in the binder.
Well, a staple of the show normally is pop culture, which is why we are going to jump into one of the most significant Bigfoot films ever put in theaters, in our lives, in our childhood. What?
No, I love your passion for this film. It's adorable.
Listen, it's no Super Mario Brothers 1993, but it
coming.
is a great film. And here we go. We're going to jump into a deep dive of Harry and the Hendersons. I'm passionate about this movie, Ryan, because it is a wonderful part of my history. When I was a little kid, I remember distinctly watching this with my dad and my mom and my sister growing up, and we didn't have a lot of times where we watched like a movie all together. So you know what? Yeah, it imprinted on my heart, you bastard. You heartless son of a bitch.
That's right. That's me. So let's jump right into it. The Bigfoot film that shaped us. Harry and the Hendersons is a 1987 American fantasy comedy film directed and produced by William Deere and starring John Lithgow.
The new Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yeah, HBO just announced that he's going to be the new Dumbledore. I think he'll do a good job.
He also voiced Yoda for a few of the Clone Wars cartoons as well.
And he's, of course, Lord Farquaad from the first Shrek movie.
Dude, legend.
Yeah.
The legendary Rick Baker provided the makeup and the creature designs for Harry. The film tells the story of a Seattle family's encounter with the cryptozoological creature, Bigfoot, and was partially inspired by the numerous claims of sightings in the Pacific Northwest, California, and other parts of both the United States and Canada, which we covered earlier. So here's the quote. Following a camping trip in the nearby Cascade Mountains, George Henderson drives home to suburban Seattle with his family when he hits a Bigfoot with his station wagon. Believing it to be dead and the key to fame and fortune, the family straps the creature to the roof of the car. A hunter tracking the creature discovers the Hendersons' damaged license plate. That night, George goes to examine the Bigfoot and discovers it was alive and has escaped. He finds the creature in the kitchen, having knocked over the refrigerator while looking for food. The family realizes that he is intelligent and friendly, and George decides to return him to the wilderness, naming the Bigfoot Harry. George tries to lure him into the station wagon, but Harry becomes upset and runs off. Saddened, the family attempt to resume their normal lives, but sightings of Harry become more frequent as media fervor heightens.
Best part of the movie is running around the neighborhood. You got a nice montage. He's messing with pets. Old ladies see him like, oh my God, it's Bigfoot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I would like to see that. George tries to find Harry and visits the North American Museum of Anthropology to speak with Dr. Wallace Wrightwood, a supposed expert on Bigfoot. Giving his phone number to the museum clerk, George resumes his search. The legendary French-Canadian hunter turned Bigfoot tracker, Jacques Lafleur, I got it right. Finds the Henderson household. George follows a Bigfoot sighting into the city while Harry evades hunters and the police as he attempts to find safety. George saves Harry from LaFleur, who is arrested and reunites him with the Henderson family. George invites Dr. Wrightwood to dinner. When answering the door, George recognizes Wrightwood as the museum clerk he gave his number to. Wrightwood urges the Hendersons to give up on Bigfoot as it destroyed his life, but then meets Harry, restoring his enthusiasm.
Yeah, can you imagine? You're just like, aliens don't exist. I've spent all this time, all this money. It cost me my marriage. It cost me my kids. It cost me my... Oh, look, an alien.
Hey, this is Blurb.
Oh, God damn it.
Bailed out of jail, LaFleur travels to the Henderson house. Harry and the Hendersons escape with Dr. Wrightwood in his truck, and LaFleur gives chase. Fleeing to the mountains, George tries to force Harry to leave. Confused and upset, Harry departs, but LaFleur tracks and attempts to shoot him. Harry subdues LaFleur, and George intervenes when LaFleur attempts to escape. LaFleur gives up on the hunt when he realizes that Harry is more than a simple beast. So he actually has a redemption moment.
He's like, I'm sorry. He cries and stuff. It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see this. So this is all literally this is great. I don't have to see it now. As the family says goodbye, George tells Harry to take care of himself, to which he replies, okay, revealing he has the ability to learn language. As Harry leaves, 3 other hiding Bigfoots and 1 adolescent emerge and disappear into the wilderness with Harry as the Henderson family watches.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ending. Okay, so I know you've seen it in Family Guy or some other reference, but he's yelling at him and he's like, he smacks Bigfoot in the face. He's like, get out of here. We don't want you anymore. Can't you see that?
Oh, is that from that?
That's from Harry and the Hendersons.
I had no idea.
And then Harry has a single tear. He's like, don't you understand?
That's hilarious.
That's Harry and the Hendersons, man.
I never knew that.
It is a beautiful movie.
So that was birthed in 1987 when this film came out. Wow. Wow. So, in conjunction with the film's setting, shooting took place at several locations in the Cascade Range of Washington and Seattle. Fun fact, in the United Kingdom, the film was originally released as Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
Brand marketing, that's what that is.
Yeah. The gentleman who played Bigfoot in the movie and in the first season of the television show was a man by the name of Kevin Peter Hall. You might know him as the infamous alien hunter from the first 2 Predator movies. His massive 7'2" height gave him the ability to portray otherworldly creatures like no one else. Unfortunately, Kevin died on April 10th, 1991, at the young age of 36.
Yeah, I mean, when you're really, really tall or really, really small, you tend to have a short life.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
I remember
Andre the Giant said it.
Yeah. The actor who played Tiny in House of 1,000 Corpses, and he was the giant in Big Fish.
Yeah.
I know he passed away as well.
Usually it's because your heart can't take it. It's like too much work to pump that much blood throughout your whole body.
I mean, that makes sense, right? So the film was a tremendous success. It opened 3rd behind Beverly Hills Cop 2 and The Untouchables. It went on to gross $29.8 million at the North American box office and $20.2 million internationally for a total of $50 million worldwide.
Which was great for 1987.
Yeah, it sounds great. It won. That sounds great to me right now.
I'll take even $1 million.
It won an Oscar for Best Makeup at the 60th Academy Awards and inspired a television spin-off. Despite this success, the film has never been embraced critically. As of now, it stands at a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Uncultured swine, as Ryan would put
That's
it.
right. More importantly, critics at the time called it a E.T. ripoff and a formulaic attempt to manipulate your emotions.
Yeah, they really went for the throat on that
Yeah,
one.
jeez. It's a movie. That's what they do.
You smacking Bigfoot in the face. Go away. We don't want you here. And then there's one critic going like, tell me enough. Stands up, walks out.
Well, I, sir, say good day.
I'm glad someone said it.
The television series spin-off was also called Harry and the Hendersons. Kevin Peter Hall reprised Harry until his death in 1991. After that, Harry was performed by Darwin Scott in 1991 and 1992, and by Brian Steele in 1992 to 1993. The show ran for an impressive 72 episodes. Without a doubt, this franchise has left an impact on a generation of people. Hell, in a small way, it could be directly responsible for the podcast you are listening to right now.
Oh.
At least on Joe's side. Nothing, no hate on, I just never saw it. You know what I mean?
It just surprises me that you've never seen it because it was so impactful in my life. But I feel like that's the case with anybody who has a passion, or there's a movie or a show or something they really, really love. They're always surprised when you tell someone, they're like, I have no knowledge of this. I'm sorry.
Like I said, I knew the preview like really well. I knew the trailer really well. It was on whatever VHS I was watching at the time. But man, 1987, that's crazy. That movie is old as I am.
Would it surprise you, Ryan, that I have a hardcover novelization of the film Harry with the Hendersons? Harry of the Hendersons.
At this point, I think it would surprise you if I were surprised.
All right, fair enough.
But so, thank you, Joe, for this story on Harry and the Hendersons. This was great.
He's so patronizing. He's like,
Yeah.
this
is good
I
stuff.
got nothing to add. I've
Nothing to add
never
here.
fucking seen it. Well, that's a wrap on all your scheduled programming. Did you like our Bigfoot episode? I think there's so much more. We're gonna obviously have a sequel. We'll call it
Yeah.
like Bigfoot 2, even footier.
Yeah, there's almost too much.
Too
There's
much.
so much evidence. There's so many stories. It's awesome. So,
Yeah. I mean, even people still looking for Bigfoot. Ryan just came across a list of, all the expeditions happening this year?
Yep.
2025.
That's right. The Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, which is BFRO.net, has a list of all of the scheduled Bigfoot expeditions and who will be leading them. Already in February, it was in Florida. April, it's going to be in Tennessee, and it's going to be led by Lori Wade. So then we got Missouri at the end of April, and also in New Jersey at the end of April. That's April 24th in Missouri. Ohio, May 15th, September 18th. So you can go to this website, and if you want to become a part of a group that are probably pros at this, since they've got this all organized, that's where you can find it. It's really interesting. They're doing it all year long.
Wait a minute. So it's like whale watching, but for Bigfoot? I don't know if that works.
Yeah.
Oh, what a perfect racket. Because no one ever sees Bigfoot. So you could just take people out in the woods and just be like, oh, see that? This
Yep.
is Bigfoot poop. See
That's
that scrape see that scrape on the tree? That's where he scratches his back. You can do whatever I'm not saying that there's many people doing that, but I'm saying hypothetically you could.
Yeah. So hypothetically, you could. So I mean, it looks like it's all over the country. So it's all reachable here. Goes all the way, Arizona, Iowa, Arkansas, West Virginia, Washington, New Mexico.
And
So-
it is just a list of the legit expeditions happening.
Yeah, this is cool. And they even have merchandise. They got a store. You can get a hat.
Oh, I kind of want a hat.
I kind of want a hat.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's going to be all over. Look at this diagram, Joe. See, it's pretty reachable by just about everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So very interesting stuff here. There was actually something else I wanted to talk about. There's a found footage horror movie about Bigfoot that
I've heard of this film.
I just watched.
Willow Creek, right?
That's right. And man, you know what? It was good. You can definitely. So I looked into it. I couldn't help myself. Let me give a little backstory to it that I found out. This movie was filmed in 1 week with a crew of 7, including actors and crew.
Definitely an indie film.
Completely out of pocket of the dude who wanted to do this. And almost all of the interviews kind of has like a Blair Witch Project beginning where they interviewed the townsfolk, right? Nearby where the Patterson-Gimlin tape was taken. And a lot of those people, if not all, I think there was probably 1 or 2 plants that were actors. All the rest of them were just people telling real stories. They really believed it was really authentic. And he just let his actors kind of just roll with it. And honestly, there was a lot to the film it was a slow roll, but it was really creepy. And just given that backstory, I really appreciated it. I thought it was really good. I haven't seen a found footage film in a while, and I wanted to watch that to prepare for today.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that end where the couple was attacked and the girl was dragged away?
Yeah, she was he was drug away because
Oh.
he's holding the camera and he gets like knocked down and then he gets drug away and he's still holding the camera. So you get like that cool, like you just getting
What's
drug.
going- yeah.
And then you hear her screaming in the background, like, get off me, don't touch me, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Oh,
so
rough.
it's very, very, to your imagination, which leaves it very creepy.
Sometimes that's the scariest thing. I mean, they say that's why Jaws was so successful, is the lack of seeing the shark.
So yeah, that was a mistake that worked because they originally intended for way more, but the shark just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So they added more dialogue, more character depth, and now we have that classic. And I'd say with this film, it was really well done. They had the clacking of limbs. You know, I mean, that's like the famous way they communicate. They had the howls. They even had like little like barks, almost like.
So they took all the classic Bigfoot lore and like I mean, that's what you have to do in those kind of movies. You know, you
Mhm.
build the tension with the sounds and the creepiness and the signs of Bigfoot before you see him.
And honestly, just it's creepy. Like I said, you talk a big game until it's nighttime and you're in a tent and you hear a giant 7 to 8 foot tall, hairy ape man wandering around, clacking sticks together and throwing rocks at you.
Well, you know, did you get a good look at Bigfoot at any point, or was it all pretty much shadows or arms and stuff like that?
You don't even get to see him at all.
Okay, so we did a web series a while back called Fuzz Malloy, and on episode 5, we had Bigfoot, and how we got away with it is we made, because it looked like a costume. So we got away with it because we made it a costume. We made a guy posing as Bigfoot, and then the real Bigfoot gets mad. So we get a POV of the real Bigfoot coming and killing the imposter Bigfoot. That's what we did. 'Cause
That's smart.
it was a lot of fun.
And according to this, you can also get a Bigfoot 2025 calendar with full color illustrations by Bigfoot expert and artist Slade Delestrode.
Oh.
So that's interesting. If you're interested in that, just type in
I want it
Bigfoot
to be like one of
2025.
the. I want it to be like one of the fireman calendars. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
him just like sitting there with a tree with an axe, or just like holding a hose next to the ship. That'd be awesome.
Yes. Fireman Bigfoot and then policeman Bigfoot.
You know, you probably could sell that calendar.
I mean, we know a few certain people who read certain erotica that would be fully into that.
Ryan, I don't read it. I collect it.
Oh,
No.
just the collection.
I am a scholar.
Yes.
This needs to be preserved, right?
It's just a neat hobby. How dare you judge me?
I think I'm gonna run for governor.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, guys, did you enjoy this Bigfoot episode? I hope you did. We sure had a lot of fun making it. And you can contact us. Tell us what you think about this Bigfoot episode, or maybe you have a suggestion for a future episode. Just email us at earthlingentertainmentpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the Facebook.
And as always, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to share this podcast with a friend, with a coworker, with a loved one. Listen to us on the way to work, on the way to get groceries, whatever it is you do, because we are all Earthlings, and that is how the Earthling do.
That's right. So, from all of us here at Earthling Entertainment, see you next week.
Goodbye.
And remember to download the episode.
And look for Bigfoot.